This is William Geen with Americans for Legal Immigration. We're here live at the Phoenix Park Hotel for Hold Their Feet to the Fire 2007, and we're very pleased to have presidential candidate and member of Congress Duncan Hunter join us. I want to thank you for joining these
Good to be with you.
events. And I believe you can get more information about him at GoHunter08.
GoHunter08.com.
GoHunter08.com. We're glad you're here. We understand that immigration and illegal immigration is part of your campaign, the things you've said, and you're getting a popular response. If you could, please tell folks, the people back home, about that.
Well, very simply, I've represented the San Diego area for a long time, and I built the border fence in San Diego. And before we built that fence, and it's a double fence with a road in between for the Border Patrol to move laterally. That smuggler's corridor between San Diego, California, and Tijuana, Mexico, was the #1 smuggler's corridor in America, meaning most of the narcotics and most of the people who were smuggled into the entire country came through that 14-mile strip between San Diego and Tijuana. We built the double border fence there in 1994 when the Republicans took control of Congress. And I put the legislation in that mandated that that fence be built. It's been hugely successful there. We've reduced the smuggling of people and narcotics by more than 90% in the San Diego area because of the border fence. And after building the fence, the crime rate in the city of San Diego dropped 53% by FBI statistics.
Wow.
Now, this year, I wrote the bill that extends the San Diego border fence 854 miles across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. It passed the House. It passed the Senate by 80-19. The president signed it in October. We have plenty of money to build that thing. We've got $1.2 billion cash on hand. And the Department of Homeland Security, when I called them the other day, told me they built precisely 2 miles so far of the 854-mile border fence. So Hold Their Feet to the Fire is the right name for this great congregation of American citizens coming in to say, government, let's get this thing done. Department of Homeland Security now is mandated by law to build the border fence. And if it's not built, and I should become president of the United States, I'll finish this fence in 6 months.
Well, that's something I wanted to ask you about. Last week in the media, it was reported that Secretary of Homeland Security Michael Chertoff is spending his time lobbying lawmakers about amnesty or guest worker legislation. And the people back at home, there's a question on their mind, and I don't mean to catch you off guard about it, but when the existing laws of the United States are going unenforced or significantly under-enforced, the authority of Congress has been abdicated, in a sense. It puts people, I mean, do you get many people lobbying for you to enforce laws that are already in place?
With all due respect to the administration, it's the worst thing in the world now to pass an amnesty bill that's going to give new benefits to people that are here illegally.
Right.
This will cause a stampede for our borders by people from all over the world. And you know, in 2005, 155,000 people came across the border from Mexico who weren't citizens of Mexico. They came from virtually every country in the world, including 1,100 folks from communist China. Everybody has a television set now, and they understand the way you get into the U.S. illegally is across the southern border.
Right.
That's why we have to build the fence that I mandated in law. It's now in law. There's plenty of money with Homeland Security. Let's build the fence. And what we need to do is have a great message from people. In fact, if you go to my website at GoHunter08.com, we're going to put up some information that shows you how you can get involved personally to help build the border fence. We've got victory within our grasp. We just have to execute.
Well, and that's why we want to thank everybody that's at home today, that's calling. We're hearing a lot of reports from calls coming into the offices over there. The word is that inside the Congressional Office Building that our teams are very, very visible and moving back and forward. And last question I'd like to ask you, sir, is when you're on the campaign trail and you do speeches about immigration enforcement, what type of response are you getting?
Great response from people that know about the border fence. They want to see it, and they know that it works well in San Diego. They want to see it across the smugglers' routes of Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And we get a wonderful support for that. We need to have those people, everybody who's concerned about security of this country, and this is really a national security issue. After 9/11, I think border enforcement has become perhaps more of a national security issue even than an immigration issue, because you have a smuggling apparatus in Mexico right now with smugglers who will take tens of thousands of dollars on a nightly basis, in fact millions of dollars on a nightly basis, to move large amounts of cocaine across the border. Those same smugglers would not hesitate for a second to move a terrorist across the border for money.
Well, so when an illegal alien pays a smuggler tonight to enter the country, that money predominantly is going into the same hands that the money used to buy a bag of cocaine tonight in America is going to. Is that correct from a congressional report?
Absolutely. Money is, the cocaine is flowing across that border, as well as lots of bad stuff.
Right.
But the point is that should a terrorist attempt to get across the southern border, you have a smuggling apparatus in Mexico right now that will expedite that smuggling of bad people with bad stuff into our country. That's why we need a fence, roads, lights, and plenty of border patrol to secure our border. So if you want to come into the U.S., you knock on the front door.
And you get in line.
That's it.
Well, on behalf of the American public out there that's lobbying against the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and Bank of America and the other lobbyists that are trying to get you to legalize all the illegals, I want to thank you on their behalf for taking a stand that's popular with the American public.
Absolutely. We're going to build this fence.
And everybody home, please check out Congressman Hunter and visit his website and find out more about him. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Okay,
Thank
absolutely.
you.